Hey, girl.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little tired today.
Yeah, little sleepies.
Yeah, a little sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy night.
I like your dress.
Oh my gosh, thanks. And my mullet.
It's getting warm. It's giving spring.
Thanks so much.
It's also giving Tiger King? Question mark. Have you seen Tiger? I've never actually watched Tiger.
Oh my god, me and Alec ate up Tiger King
Did
during
you?
COVID.
Carol, what was the name? Carol Bassett. Nope, that wasn't it.
No, you're
What
getting
was
close.
her name? Yeah. Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him.
Do you killed her husband, whacked him? Remember when that like swept the nation? Like everyone was talking about Tiger King. My
because
God.
part of it was based in Florida. Am I wrong? Like,
Yeah,
the big cat ranch or something like that in Florida.
So I feel like you probably were even more aware of it.
I was back home. This was during COVID, and I was back home when TikTok like became obsessed with it, and I didn't know that because I wasn't on TikTok. All my friends would call me and tell me like, "Are you watching? Are you watching? It's actually where you're living," like because it was close-ish to where I'm from. I still know nothing about it beyond the fact that they remixed Megan Thee Stallion's Savage with the song, basically, with the show.
What's funny is you and I both didn't have, at the height of COVID, both didn't have TikTok, and I feel like that's when everybody got on TikTok.
For sure.
I didn't even really start until the close of COVID. Oh. And it's really funny that I'm often lumped into the people always say, you're a COVID creator, and I wouldn't consider myself one, no.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, you were one of those people creators that blew up in the middle of the pandemic because no one had anything to do.
Yeah.
And while I did blow up, when I first blew up, we were on the tail end of like the mask mandate was coming to a close, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we were no longer masking. So I would say I was not a pandemic.
Not technically, yeah.
I was just on the edge.
On the periphery.
Yeah.
In a lane of your own.
I forget. I mean, I don't forget that it happened, but
COVID happened?
It was just such a crazy thing that we lived through.
I think my brain is protecting me from the emotional trauma that was isolation. That was hard for me.
Yeah.
I left the city and like went and stayed with my mom in Florida for 6 months. And like I just moved to New York. So I was here for about 7 months before COVID hit. And my New York dreams were dashed in a moment.
I've never actually asked you this. What did you do during those 6 months?
I left. So I went to Florida, and my mom and I were actually just talking about this earlier. That was the most restorative time of my life. I completely deleted all social media, pretty much fell off the grid except for talking to my one friend, Aaron. That was it. Didn't even talk to, I won't say who, but did not talk to a lot of people during this time. Just my one friend, Aaron, and my mom every single day. I sewed obsessively. I was a costume girl in high school, so I was constantly sewing back then, but I kind of gave it up when I moved to the city.
Yeah.
I reintroduced myself to the habit, so it was making my wardrobe during COVID.
That's cool. And I forget that you sew.
It was crazy. And then every single day I would get up and I would journal. I kid you not, for about 4 to 5 hours every day. Like I would meditate and journal outside in the sun.
So you were writing?
All day. My COVID journals, like I have a little stack in my bookshelf, probably this big, of journals that are this thin. No, I'd say like this thin. Just a giant stack of them in my, like I can read my entire COVID experience, like 6 months of isolation and journals. It's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Your grandchildren will be interested in those.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I don't open them. I'm like, that's a lot for me
okay.
right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the most mentally healthy I would say I've ever been. I didn't love COVID obviously, but I did love the self-imposed isolation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came back to the city very fresh and excited about life.
Huh.
And then we met.
And then we met.
Right after that.
And yeah, we met right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was in a bad apartment in Brooklyn because it was $775 a month. And I was cleaning Airbnbs, empty Airbnbs. They're all empty. And so a guy gave me a job. I was cleaning houses, and not all of them are empty. There was a couple places that I would walk in, and I'm like, there are people here. And he goes, yeah, I have tenants there now. Oh. And I'd be like, okay, so I'm just going to clean around them. All right. So I would clean houses, and I also volunteered during the week at the Bar Mission. And then, because I was just like, I need something to do because I was alone. And Alec was at sea. My husband at the time was a fisherman in Alaska. That's a whole story for another day. In crazy chapter. So he was like, T, I'm going to sea. And the moment things went crazy, I was like, all right. And we had done, at this point, we were doing long distance. We had already been doing long distance for 2 years. So I was like, well, I was living in New York alone. And then, and I did go back and visit my mom in Washington for a part of that too. So I was with my mom for a little bit. And then, I came back to New York and went back to that little room in Brooklyn. And Yeah. And that was I think about that time I get so nostalgic for it because it was this chapter where, oh man, I really was so aware of it was the first time I really was like, I'm a woman on my own in the world. Before that I was living in a college dorm. Oh. So we lost our housing and overnight I had to go and stay and go find a place to be. And so I just really remember feeling this overwhelming sense of pride. I was like, I'm really figuring this out. Like, I'm going to get on, I'm going to make it through this. I don't know who or how I'm going to be or where I'm going to be 2 years from now or a year from now. That uncertainty was terrifying.
Yeah.
But I did know I was going to be fine. I did know I was going to be okay. I've just got to get through this and keep my head down and make it through this time. And now I look back and I tap into that version of myself when I feel like I need to be brave. Because I'm like, if I can do that, I can do anything.
As if we literally can recover from the entire world shutting down and building careers that we didn't, like we were not fast tracking to either of the ends that we know right now back then. It completely came up post-COVID.
Yeah.
So if we can do that and build this life in however many years, anything is possible.
Yeah. And I used to be so starved for human connection that I would sit on a bikini on my fire escape in the summer of that summer of COVID.
Yeah.
And I would sit on the fire escape and I would talk to people walking beneath me on the sidewalk. Or guys would pull up. This one guy would always pull up with a super souped up car. And I had my bust down weave.
Period.
I looked cute. Okay. I would do a full face of makeup to go sit on that fire escape.
Period.
I feel like I was a princess holding court.
It keeps you safe.
I was the princess of Bed-Stuy.
Oh.
And I would talk to people walking by. And there were people that would regularly come and talk to me in the corner. And this guy in the souped up car would come and be like, hey, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And I'd be like, no, go away. Oh, God. What a time.
What a time.
What a time. There was a guy named, what was his name? Not Little. Shorty. There was a guy named Shorty that I used to always talk to, and he'd get my packages.
Not Little. Shorty.
Shorty. Oh. I was like, what happened to Little? Oh, Shorty.
Hope he's well. Where
God
in
bless you,
Bed-Stuy were
Shorty.
you? Like, I know nothing about Brooklyn, so I can't even ask
I will
you
literally
where
is it bad to give my old address? Shoshana, can I give my old address to a T? I know it to the top. I lived at 1982 Atlantic Avenue. 1982 Atlantic Avenue. Okay. I lived the Long Island Railroad would go by the apartment and like shake it.
Lord,
and I lived
Jesus.
on Atlantic Avenue.
Oh. Is that near Barclays?
Next to a Popeyes.
Delicious.
It was the first time I'd ever had Popeyes.
Girl, I got to get you down to the South and have some real Popeyes.
I'd like
They give you sauce packets, little seasoning packets.
Ooh. Can't wait. Hold on, I'm going to burp. Popeyes?
Oh, well,
girl, not Trace. Our producer just asked Popeyes.
It's
spinach
We've
guy.
Got to educate you on Popeyes chicken.
I get you're thinking
but you're
Popeyes
right.
the sailor man.
He would eat glug his spinach and get muscles. That's true. That's Popeye.
But Popeyes
the
is
Popeyes we're
a
talking
fried
about.
chicken chain.
It's a Cajun chicken chain.
Yeah.
So good.
And I love
so
Popeyes.
Funny.
Our producer just asked if Popeyes was the spinach guy.
That's okay. Have you ever seen that video of the man who's blindfolded and they have like 6 different varieties of chicken?
And he can figure out every
Why did Alex send that to me and say you would have no problems? I was like, I know I wouldn't. And 2 people sent that to me.
And he knew the soda too.
Yes, it's so neat. So Publix chicken, Popeyes, KFC. I can taste and smell a chicken variety a mile away.
Of course Alex would send that to you.
I love chicken.
I love chicken too, but not as much. I don't think as much as you, but I do love chicken.
I'm not beating them stereotypes any day of the week.
No, you're from the South though. You know, as you
And
once
black.
said, you know fried chicken.
I do know fried chicken.
As you always say.
It's like I always say, I know chicken.
She knows chicken. Speaking of a time in our life when we were like introspective and feeling, sometimes I feel like you have moments in life when you feel yourself becoming a woman. I don't really know. I don't know if I'll feel that. I'm 28 now, but I've certainly had many moments, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. These big moments of like, I'm a woman I'm in the world, as Diana Ross.
Oh, I love me some D.
Whoa.
Wow.
I mean, yes, Lord. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We lost Tracy. Why'd I have to moan it like that too? That was crazy.
Love me some D. Throw some D's on it.
Throw some D's on that. I love that song.
Well, I guess we can end the episode there.
We will come back to that.
Anyway.
You're feeling deep. You're feeling introspective. Where do you go?
I gotta take my wig off from that.
Does it hurt?
It's itching me.
Take her off.
All right, we had to take a quick wig removal break.
We're back.
I promise this won't happen again. We're just it's getting warm out, and so it's getting warm in my house.
The hairlines get a little wet.
Yeah.
A little moist.
Oh, but they're still here as guests. It looks like we have 2 guinea pigs on the couch.
It does. Little squeaks. What did you say yesterday at dinner? Stop. That scares me.
That's the sound they make.
It is. I can't do it.
Oh, I said the other day at dinner,
Squeaks
I go
for something.
Rat indecision.
No, you were like squeaks for solidarity or something.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
I was like, rat solidarity. Rat sounds for solidarity.
That's what he said.
That's what it was. Rat sounds for solidarity.
I love our little
hope you feel
guineas.
seen and heard by me.
What?
When I do that.
I love it.
My rat sounds for solidarity. It just means like I get what you're saying.
Oh my God, I thought of you this morning about our rats and roaches conversation because tell me why I went to go walk out of my apartment this morning. On the threshold of my door, the biggest roach I have ever seen. Belly up.
Bitch.
Kicking.
Bitch. I wasn't going to tell you this because I don't want you to judge me. I wasn't going to tell you this because I didn't want you to judge me. Olivia, yell it for the cameras. What did I call you about this morning? What did I call you about? Was the first thing I said to you?
Roaches.
Yeah. I came home from walking the dog.
Where?
Opened the door.
Where?
Humongous roach on its back, dead,
No!
feet in the sky. Exactly. But the antennas were still kind of moving on my kitchen floor. I'm disgusting.
Don't do it.
And I called Olivia because I wanted to talk about something else, but I just had to tell. I had to confess it to someone because I was so embarrassed. It's embarrassing for me to have a roach in my house because it makes me feel like I'm dirty.
But it's New York, so even the cleanest of the clean, everybody has roaches. That's the problem. And so I said to myself, I'm not going to have a mental breakdown. I opened the door and was like, closed it back, called Lanita, my mom, and said, we've got a problem. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. Burn the house down to start? What more can I do from here?
Because you hate a roach.
I cannot take a roach. I can't take a roach. It's still there, most likely. I closed my eyes and walked over the threshold and ran.
You didn't just step on it?
Bitch! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you that. What am I supposed to do?
It's okay. Rat sounds of solidarity.
I texted my superintendent.
I had a dream the other night that I came to your house and needed a tampon, and you opened the drawer and there was a huge rat in the drawer and it was moving around and shoved it. Just shut.
I can take the rat. Give it a rat. I can't take the roach.
I know. I'm starting to associate you with rat.
Anything.
Rat comfort.
Yeah. Like it makes you feel less afraid.
No. It's more so that you're okay with rats.
I am. You can call me if you got one of them. Call me.
Good to know. Careful. I might take you up on it. Careful what you wish for. I'll film it.
Because, girl.
We have to lock back in.
We're here. Sorry.
We have to lock back in.
We're back.
Womanhood. What were some moments in your life that you have felt like, man, I feel like a woman? Of just this, I don't know how else to explain it. It's almost existential.
Yeah.
But I think it's a moment every woman has when you start to feel really aware of the fact, aware of your power.
Yeah.
Also aware that you are no longer a child. Because I, at 28, still have moments and days where I'm like, I'm a kid. How did I get a credit card? I have days all the time where I'm like, I just feel like I'm still growing up. I feel that all the time.
Yeah.
But I also have moments where I'm like, nope.
Locked in.
We're locked in. I'm awake.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
I'm awake.
Because I'm awake. I'm a woman. What are some moments you've had?
The first time I'd say that I felt like a woman is dating now at 26/27. Like this is the first time that I'm feeling like a woman. Because I'm not dating young men. I'm not dating 22-year-olds. I'm not 22. I don't expect boyhood from my partner.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not giving girlhood to my partners.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and with that being said, I feel grown finally for the first time because I'm seeing the world as how a woman would. A woman on a date would see the world, how a woman who lives by herself would see the world. Like I have partners who would see my home. That's just my home. That's not, I live with a roommate or live with my mom. Like it's my space that I'm curating for myself. Yeah, I would say it's in dating, which I kind of hate
cool.
that's my answer. But
I think that's really cool. I envy you that. I've never lived without a roommate before.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I did long distance with my husband, which I'm so glad I did long distance.
Mm-hmm.
We did long distance for years. Another day. That's another podcast for another day of why I think it's so good and so healthy. If you and your partner can survive long distance,
yeah,
you guys are locked in for the rest of time, baby.
Baby.
But we'll come back to that. Trace over here, she's doing long distance with her partner. You got it, babe.
Trace.
Don't worry. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. She's giggling. It's not funny.
She's like, I know.
But another day. But I will say, but I've always had a roommate. But
Yeah.
I think that is part of living in New York. But it's such an accomplishment that you live alone in New York City.
Our accountant Kelly was saying this the other day. I'm like lamenting the fact that I spend so much money on rent, but she's like, no, I wasn't lamenting the fact that I spend money on rent. I'm lamenting the fact that my lifestyle is just a little more expensive than I would think, even when it's pared back. And she's like, to be fair, you live alone, and that's amazing. That is a great accomplishment. Yeah. And then I sat and was like,
sharing the expenses with anyone.
No, and that's something to be proud of. I would not have imagined that at 26 that I'd be a woman living alone in New York City. Like that's bananas.
Huge.
And I love every minute of it. But I will say I do miss sometimes the girlhood of living with someone. Like the experience of knocking on Tati's door and being like, you want to sit on the couch and watch TV?
I had a moment before I got married where I love marriage is fun because it's like a big slumber party all the time. Like we're always on it's so fun and we giggle and we have so much fun. Mm-hmm. But I did have a little moment when we were all getting ready on my wedding day. We were doing makeup together. I had this moment where I thought, I'm never going to live with my girlfriends again. And I love living with girls. I love hanging out with the girls. With the girls. I love that so much. Maybe I'll be blessed with many daughters and I'll get it to have it again. But it's not the same. I loved in college. I lived with Tina, one of my really good friends. She's one of my bridesmaids. And
Big
I
ups
with
Tina. We love you, Tina.
Go, Tina.
Yeah.
Go, Tina. She's my only friend that I have to say it like that. Anyway, so Tina, she's that's my girl Tina. She's from New York. She's from Long Island.
She's good.
She's that one. She says horrible in that exact accent.
It's horrible.
She goes, "Oh, Taryn, this is horrible. You've got to go." She was my first roommate, and I lived with her for years, and I loved living with Tina. I love me some Tina, and I relished every moment of living with girls. I am sure there are people listening to this podcast that were like, I hated living with girls.
Yeah.
I once lived with 7 girls. Wouldn't do that again.
Could never.
But would I live with 1 or 2 other girls? Yes.
It's nice to come home to a girly pop.
Oh my God. I used to come home from my shift at the bar, 2 a.m., and Tina looked just like us, a night owl. Mm-hmm. So she was
wide
always
awake,
watching Charmed for the 1100th time.
Period.
And I'd come and I'd lean in the doorway, and I'd be like, "You're never gonna believe." And you know when you live with girls, and you have a language that you develop. Mm-hmm. So I could lean in the doorway and go, "Guess who was back tonight?" And she'd go, "Not shrimp fingers." And I'll go, "Shrimp fingers." He was back in the bar.
The inside jokes when you live with a gal are elite.
It's
not even an inside joke. To your point, it becomes the language. Yeah.
And it was just, I can't count how many times I would lay on the floor. We would literally lay on our floor together. I don't know how we ended up down there. Mm-hmm. But we would be laying on the floor looking at the ceiling, just talking and talking and talking. It felt like you were at summer camp.
I love
all the time. And I love that.
I do. Yeah.
My husband goes to bed at 9. What the fuck? Wake up! Get up!
But I will say, it's good that he goes to bed late because we can stay over late.
That's
as long
true.
as we keep our volume normal.
How many times have we been whisper laughing in this living room?
At 1 a.m. Yeah.
But I do feel that. I wonder, and if you're watching this, did you love living, if you're a woman, did you love living with women? Are you somebody who was like, I did not enjoy it. I much prefer to either live alone.
Yeah.
Do you prefer living alone than living with roommates? It's okay. This is a safe space. You can say so.
I toggle back and forth between the two, but I would say most of the time I prefer living alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I want,
I never have.
Don't be. I wouldn't be embarrassed about that. Maybe you'll have your moms.
Think I'll get divorced?
Didn't mean that. That's twice today. I've said something fucking crazy.
Maybe
you'll have your mom.
Have your mom in the set.
I meant it as if maybe you'll have a separate bedroom one day that could feel like your Diva Dome. Doug Diva Dome of the Dimsdale Diva Dome.
Doug Diva Dome, owner of the Diva Dome.
Owner of the Diva Dome. That's what I was trying to say. My bad, my boy.
My breast is about to come out of the dress.
That's okay. You got her.
Oh, that happens a lot.
I simply meant. Okay, maybe you won't have your moment actually, but I don't know. You can always come over to my house.
I love coming over to your house because it does feel like a Diva Dome.
It is. Maybe I have to change the name.
It's so fun.
Its first name was Lady HQ, but it hasn't been sticking. Diva Dome is hilarious.
Diva Dome is going to stick forever.
I got to get a neon sign.
To all my baby girls listening to this, if you live alone, just know, girl, you're in the Diva Dome.
You have a Diva Dome.
You have a Diva Dome.
Wait,
Doug Diva Dome, owner of the Dimsdale Diva Dome.
Deb Diva Dome. It's Deb Diva Dome
over Deb Diva Dome, owner of the Dimsdale Diva Dome.
The Diva Dome.
Damn, I'm jealous of you if you live alone. That is so cool.
You can come over to my house.
Well, you know, Jennifer
anytime.
Lewis talks about how she's been married. And
so does Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Or not, she's not been married. She's been engaged 4 times. Never
she
got
enjoys
married.
her well.
But she talks about, you know, separation of partners and living alone. That's
I think that I can't say it'll all depend on the partner, but I am a big advocate for separate spaces in the home in marriage. I think that'll work best for me personally.
Sure.
I think I will live like the kings and queens of yore and have my own wing. Separate bedroom, everything. And then when we want to have our moments, we'll come together. But I'm learning the older that I get.
You get on the intercom. Honey, would you like to have a moment?
Correct. We'd love a moment.
I have 5 minutes.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm open to it. Certainly more than ever. I, like Whoopi Goldberg says, the reason why she wasn't married is because she don't want no man in her damn house, quote unquote.
I love Whoopi Goldberg.
So I'm open to be married, but I definitely don't want no damn man in my house, quote unquote.
Understandable. I love having, I obviously whatever.
But I
love
say,
my husband, whatever.
We love
Grow
that.
up.
And I love coming to your house and seeing you and Alec chilling, or you and husband chill on the couch and have a cute time. And I love seeing that. I really do. It warms my heart.
That works for us. But I'll admit, you're doing something that I haven't done, and I like watching you do it.
It's
having
fun.
the Diva Dome.
The Diva Dome.
It's Tiffany's world. It's your personal space, and I think that's so cool. And seeing my girlfriends that have roommates, like Tati, you know, her roommates. It is fun.
It's cute
to go over and see them with their inside jokes, or like
and
they'll
they do
go out
roomie
together.
nights. They cook together.
Yeah,
that's cute.
So I think if you have the right roommate, it's probably your fault. Though I have heard so many horror stories.
Oh, girl, I've got plenty.
There are people in the studio reacting to that, and a lot of people have horror stories. Oh, why are you nodding? There are some vigorous nods.
Okay, wait. Is that a canon universal
and what
experience?
Are you? A cow?
A cow?
What?
Is that a canon universal experience that we have all had? Some kind of horrible roommate? Okay,
I had a
you
roommate,
first.
But I don't know if I can tell the story.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, she doesn't watch the podcast.
Well, don't be too specific, maybe. Because now I want to know.
Not my fault. I didn't do it. Remember how I told you I had 7 roommates?
Yes.
I wish Tina was here. She tells the story better.
No.
When Tina and I first
phone her in,
had one of the apartments together, and we had multiple roommates. Mm-hmm. There was this one girl who was beefing with another girl. Oh. So I gotta say, I wasn't part of this beef. Oh. This living in this house is like living in Bad Girls Club. It was crazy.
Used to love the Bad Girls Club.
I was the oldest by a century, it often felt like, at 22 years old. I was 23, actually. I was 23. And they were all, me and Tina were both, 24. And the gals in the house were all 18 or 19 years old.
That's a big difference.
I'm sure they've all grown up and they're different people now. But I got to live with a bunch of these gals who, my God. All right, let me get focused. There were 2 girls that were really close. Me and Tina obviously were the closest, and we shared a room. And these 2 girls were on either ends of the hall, ends of the hall of each other. And I remember there was even a moment that they liked each other so much that they were considering like moving in rooms together. But they both had their own rooms, which is a flex in the dorm situation.
Love it.
We had like a suite. So like they were like, nah, we're gonna do our own rooms. But they started going out together all the time. They would come home, and I'd be coming home from the bar, you know, because I'd finished my shift, and they were coming home at the same time as me from the bars. But they were having fun.
Not working.
And now that I look back, they weren't going to bars because I don't think they were 21. I think they were coming back from like parties. They're going out to like house parties.
Just a little house mode.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I can draw out a story. So it doesn't matter. The point is, one night, I come home from the bars. These girls come in, and we had heard. No, hold on. Let me get it. Let me rock it back.
Okay.
I come home from the bars, and there's my sweet, darling wife, Tina, and she's sitting at the dinner table waiting for me. And I said, "Oh, because we want to talk about how my night went." And I said, I lean against the counter, and we're having a chat about how my night went. And God, I hope it's okay I tell the story. I mean, it's fine. It's just a crazy story. And I'm making tea, and one of the girls comes in, and we go, "Hey," we do our roommate pleasantries because your ship's passing in the night.
Good to see you.
And I ask, "Where is so and so?" The one because you guys are close. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Oh, we're not cool anymore." Oh. Well, I hate to pry, but if you're so inclined to let me know,
you with a crowbar.
I hate to pry. Me with a crowbar. Hate to pry, but of course I want to know what's the tea. She goes on to tell a story about a dispute over something. To be honest, Tiffany, was dumb. Why do girls beef over dumb things?
Dumb things, and it escalates into something it don't need to be.
And it didn't need to be all that. And I remember listening to this thinking, oh, surely your friendship will recover because this is silly. I think it had to do with money or something like, something that transpired of fairness. But I remember thinking, and I said to her at the time, oh, I hope you guys work it out. She's like, I don't think we will. We're not doing well.
Oh, no.
She really calmly was telling me the story. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the hall of the suite, boom, door opens. Cow, I hear y'all talking about me. I'm sitting there. I wasn't talking about you.
You stirring your tea?
I have my tea. Hey, I'm a pacifist. I wasn't talking about you. I was just asking a couple journalistic questions. I need everyone in the audience to know I've never fought in my life.
Never thrown a hand?
Never thrown a hand.
Me neither. I'm not sure why I asked it like that. Say
what, you've never thrown a hand? Never fought in my life. Don't plan to.
I don't want the smoke. I really don't.
I don't want the smoke. I don't feel any shame saying that. So when she comes charging down the hall, I hear y'all bitches talking about me. I was like, oh, let's all calm down, ladies, and have a nice civilized discussion. That wasn't happening. Now, homegirl, she turns, and she was like, I was just telling them what happened between us. And she was like, I want to tell my side of the story. This quickly escalates. Not D. No D here.
I love the D.
But I love the D. No D here, though. It's only escalation. It escalates, and we can see they're really starting to raise their voices. And I remember, again, I just got home from the bars. I already broke up a bar fight tonight. I don't want another bar fight in the house. Yeah. Come on, girls.
Not in the house.
And that was always how I feel. I feel like an old woman in my bonnet. I'm like, girls. And I remember the more I tried to de-escalate it, the more their voices, they became more and more frantic. And I remember very clearly, I had to make a statement about this later. Oh, yeah.
It made it there.
The one who had initially come down the hall, like, she was just looking for a fight. She, bucked, was like, what? And, stepped towards the other gal.
You've got to step up to the challenge.
The other gal wasn't one to be like, she's not a doormat. She was like, hey, now I would have cowered. Please. I would have been like, whoa, did you just buck me? I am not knuck if you buck.
I'm not knucking. Please, don't buck.
Please don't buck. Anyway. So I stepped between the two girls, and I basically was like, and I'm like, hey, I remember, it went, stop. I thought that was going to do something. Hey, stop, girls. And there was a beat of silence, and then the one that started it, continued it. She goes in, and she grabs homegirl by her hair. It sounded like a room of feral cats. You put them in a box and you shook it up. I didn't know which way was up. I felt like I was in Avengers and I got put into a portal. Because you know what happened, Tiffany?
What?
I got locked between them.
Of course.
It was like being stuck in a hurricane.
So homegirl throws hands back.
Yeah. So she defends herself, and now they're going in. Have you ever seen two cats go?
Just the little swipe.
With their little swats. I'm between them.
Oh! Catching strays left and right.
I'm going, stop! Back!
Where's Tina?
Tina's like, this is the table. She had her hands in her face. She looked like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. She was just like, and she's going, stop. And then I remember Tina somewhere over the fray goes, I'm calling the RA. I'm
Tina's
between
so
the two
logical.
of them. We're moving through the kitchen now. And I'm, my dumbass, I'm going, you're hurting each other. You're hurting each other.
I
I'm
don't
so
give
dumb.
a rat's ass.
I kept trying to. I remember one of them. She had a homegirl now. Oh, the other girl had just gotten her braids done, fresh, and she knew this. So she yanked on her braids, and I had known because she was just telling me how sore her head was from the braids. So I actually was trying to pry her claws. I was like finger by finger, like you've got to stop. She just got her braids done.
Her scalp is sensitive,
and she had really long nails. So, anyways. And I just like, stop, you're hurting each other. And I remember just being, I could not pull myself out from between the two girls. But also I kind of didn't want to because I wanted to try to break up the fight. And I was doing a miserable job of breaking it up. Long story short, the fight eventually ends. It's probably no more than 2 minutes. And she's like, and she walks back down the hall and slams the door. And this girl walks back down the hall and slams the door. And it's all very tearful and everyone's very upset. I had a red scratch mark across my chest.
Ugh.
I looked like I just come out of a
An
dog
episode
fight.
of Tiger King.
Yes, I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then the RA comes, and then all of a sudden campus security comes. Then the cops come.
Oh no!
I didn't call him. I was like, whoa. I've got this handled.
It's fine.
Hey. I think I did a pretty good job myself. I'm like more fucked up than anybody. So anyways, I tried to break up a fight, didn't do well. And I remember from that day on, I was like, I will never live with this many girls again.
Absolutely not.
But I will also say, in the right company, living with girls can be wonderful.
So fun.
That just was that was an outlier.
It was college too.
I guess.
I'm not saying
awful.
that's people's college experiences, but maybe living with girls in college, I feel, is so different than living with women, girls when you're an adult.
Yeah, I would say so. But that's like the only time in my whole life that I've been involved. I wasn't in a fight. I was trying to break up a fight, and
you were in it.
And you
were in the middle of it.
That felt like I was in the movie Twister, and I was a storm chaser, right in the middle of fray. Anyway, I still follow one of the gals.
Oh,
and she's lovely.
Hope she's well.
I hope she's well too. You know what? Shit happens.
It sure does.
They settled it like women. I mean, I would say they settled it like men. I don't know. One of them had to move out. So they made her move out, which was great because it was to say the least, tensions the next morning were high. I went and grabbed my Pop-Tarts out of the cabinet I had in the house. I hid them. I was like, I don't know what to do the morning after a fight since I've never been in one, but I do know I need to hide my Pop-Tarts.
At the very least.
Have you ever been involved in a fight?
I have never been. I'm trying to think. A physical altercation.
Actually, you don't have to tell if you don't want to.
No, I don't think I've ever been involved in a fight. And if I did, I blocked it from my memory.
Honestly, I'm mad that I was even part of that one. I should have. Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. What can you say? The one fight that I've been in was with my sister. I hit her in a Walmart parking lot.
Why? What'd you do?
It was me. I was being annoying, and Taylor got fed up, and she pushed me, and I was like, and I went in, but then she beat my ass, so it did not turn out well in my favor. So my thing is,
I have only brothers. I am the youngest, and I have 3 older brothers. I love hearing sisters talk about
a sister squabble,
sisters, or just like what it's like to have a sister.
I loved growing up in the house.
That is the only thing I would ever change. Is I would love to have had a sister.
Oh, but that's why you're such a good friend. Is because you're giving your sister energy to all of the women around you.
I think you're such a good friend because you've had sisters.
Well, I was mean to my sister though, so.
Well, you're not anymore. Now you're close.
Not anymore. Now we're homies. But Taylor, who she does watch every episode. And
love you, Taylor.
Every time. We love you, Tay.
You were a mean little sister?
Oh, I was the meanest little sister. I was spoiled, though, so that's why. But I was just dominant. And she's very cool and level-headed and very even-keeled. And I'm the complete opposite.
And I feel your mom is like that. Your mom is cool and level-headed.
For sure. And I was just this tornado that terrorized all of us at any given moment. I was fucking crazy. Sorry to everyone involved in my teenage years. But I will say I loved having a sister. Taylor, I laugh with Taylor like I don't laugh with anyone else. The inside jokes go cuckoo bananas. Like that's my girl. No one gets you like a sister gets you.
I think
and that's
what
true.
I envy is the security of a sister friendship that, like, it's so cool that, like, you guys can, more than anyone, like, because I know I feel it with my siblings, my brothers, which is, like, no matter what fight we get in or what disagreement we get in, there's a level of security in that we are family.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere no matter what. Like, you literally can't get rid of them. There's this unspoken tether between
It's like
siblings.
second to your relationship with your mother is a relationship with a sister, I would say.
Yes.
In the very same way, because having like the relationship with the dad is different because it's, we're women having relationships with dad. It's just different. I won't say why, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But with our moms, we know like that's mom. Like mom's ride until the brakes fall off. And it's very similar, I would say, to having a relationship with a sister. But I do know on the flip side, many women who have very tough relationships with their sisters, and they would not agree and say that a sister relationship is one that if it's salty and doesn't go well, you can move
fair
past,
enough. Yeah, you're right.
Because on the other hand, your sister is the only person who grew up with you and who like very similarly knows your lived experiences. So if they're not treating you well, then why would you excuse that?
I think I've likely romanticized in a lot of ways all sister relationships, because even when someone's like, I have a difficult relationship with my sister, there is a part of me that's like, but like, what must that be like to have that?
To have a relationship, yeah.
I always really wanted one. I love my brothers though, and I love being a sibling. But it is different to only have brothers in that way. But at the same time, like, what I love about having siblings is I don't know how to explain it anyway. There isn't, for me, I feel, an intangible tether to other people on this earth that are my similar age, right? So like, I'm going to get to have them my whole life. And I hope we get to have each other our whole lives. And it's just so, nobody can ever understand where you come from, your roots, your DNA, like a sibling does. And it's like my greatest joy in my family is certainly one of my greatest joys. I have so many joys. I love being an aunt too. I love having a niece. But one of my greatest joys is having my brothers. Yeah. I wish I could extend that to a sister.
Oh, to a sister.
Maybe I have a long lost one. I always fantasize I have a long lost sister.
A long lost sissy?
Maybe she's watching right now.
Twins, girl.
Reach out.
Yeah.
I probably will think you're crazy. So
maybe
I'll
don't
probably be like,
out.
You're not my sister. But what if you are? Send me a DNA test.
Oh. You're quantifying or qualifying this experience.
Prove it, and then we'll be sisters.
That's funny. Well, I would hammer down on what I said earlier. That's why you're such a good friend, because you give so much sister love to your girls.
Well, thank you. I feel the same. You give really good sister love.
Yeah.
But I'll admit, I envy the sisterhood bond, and I feel like I've tried to create that in my friendships. I want us to be sisters.
Yeah.
But I recognize, and you don't deny it. It's okay. I recognize that I can, because you actually have a sister. It hurts. I can never be in that role.
It hurts.
It hurts me.
It hurts me. No. Well, that goes back to what I said earlier. I think I know different people fill different roles. I don't need another sister because I have plenty, but I do need a best friend.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's just keep the podcast moving, I guess.
Oh, I love you. Tap, tap,
I love
tap.
You. Rat squeaks of solidarity. Rat squeaks of solidarity. Our producer's throwing out that our producer just threw out that in female relationships, she feels a certain type of way sometimes about the overuse of I love you, because if there's someone that you just feel like they love everybody, does it lessen the earnestness of their I love you? Yeah. In a friendship.
I will say it's crossed my mind a time or two for sure. When I'm making new friends, when I'm loved bomb in a new friendship, it means less to me. What?
I'm like, oh, guilty as charged.
No.
I know what you mean though, because I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Because it means less. I take love so seriously. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, for me to get to the point of saying I love you to a homie, like I love you. Like you're my dude, you're my dog.
You're my dude.
I don't just say that to
You're my boy.
You my boy.
Boy.
You my
boy.
I cracked my neck.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
That's what it meant. So yes, I interrogate that all the time. I'm like, okay, you know.
I struggle with this because I interrogate it too, and I feel the same.
Yeah.
But not to sound like I'm gonna sound like a total hippie. I really love when I meet someone and I spend more than 5 minutes with them. I actually want to be like, I love you. Like I want to say it. Like I want them to know because I love them. Now, granted, the love is different.
Yeah.
There is a love that I feel like for you, for people in this room, that goes much deeper than somebody I've only known for a month or two.
Yeah.
Fair, right? Yep. Of course, that's natural. But at the same time, man, I do like there's so many times that I meet somebody and I walk away from them. I don't know how else to identify how I feel.
I would agree too.
Then just like, I just want you to know that I love you.
I care so deeply for you. And love is really all we have to say.
I don't have a better word. Can you say? Yeah. I enamor you. I'm enamored with you no, that's not good because enamored suggests like I'm obsessed for a moment and it's shallow.
Yeah. But there's a difference maybe between saying I love you and love you, because I'm quick to be like, oh, love you, girl. Like when I meet a girly pop for the first time, and I'm like, love you. Like I went on a girls trip this weekend, and by the end of it, it was love you for all the girls. But I love you for the best friend that I was there for, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. And I'm worried now, but I'm not worried. I'm glad we're having this conversation because maybe I should interrogate it a little bit more. Like, I don't want my I love yous to be lessened.
Flippant. Yeah.
Yeah, at all. But at the same time, I mean that shit. Like, I really do. I take it really hard. We'll talk about it. We're talking about womanhood. Mm-hmm. It's only happened a couple times. But I take it really hard when someone who comes into my life, we're cool. I'm like, I love you. I care about you. Even though we've only known each other a month, I'm glad that we're friends. And then because it's a friendship in its infancy, maybe I've offended them or I've made a mistake. I take it so hard when somebody comes into my life and I'm like, yep, I love you. I'm so happy to be your friend. And then a couple things happened. One, we just drift. Or two, I must have said something or done something, and I like notice that they're not following me on Instagram anymore, or like I notice that like they're following me, but it dies off. Yeah. Now I'm just reaching out to them, right? I'm just checking in on them. They no longer check in on me, and a part of me wants to text them and be like, "Did I do something?" But then I'm like, "Nah, don't sound desperate. Like, don't sound crazy. Just let it go."
Yeah.
I love when I can hear. I don't know if I love it. I hear people on podcasts talk about a lot. Anyone that removes themselves from your life, let them. Mel Robbins talks a lot about like the let them theory. Let them. That's great, and that's super evolved. Show me how. I can't let anyone go. Ouch, it hurts so bad. Mel, help me. I love the idea. I get it. That's very evolved. Let them. If someone doesn't want to be in your life, let them go. If somebody doesn't see your value, then they didn't deserve you in the first place. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what if I could just maybe make them see my value? Because I love them so much.
Just a little bit. Oh, I'm too good at it.
Rat squeaks of love. But I recognize that that's coming from if I'm going to be really real right now, I think that's coming from a childish part of me that still lives. There's that little kid in me that wants to be liked and wants to be liked and wants to be loved.
Yeah.
I recognize, oh man, I'm getting real.
You're going in.
You guys are getting a lot.
This is good
It
stuff.
is what it is. I think that's a childhood part of me that I don't know if I can heal, or maybe I just need to talk to her a little bit more. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Give her some love.
But you're saying, you're good at it. You're
I'm
like, if somebody
a little too good at it.
If somebody doesn't want to be your friend, you're like, okay, bye.
But equally, similar to you, I want love and approval and affection, and I'm a little too driven by it for sure. But for whatever reason in friendships, that's an area that I'm getting stronger in, because I just as much as I want love and affection and validation from people, I do not want to beg for it.
Yeah.
So if you're gone, you won't catch me chasing you.
But
I'm
honestly,
not a chaser.
Fair enough. It doesn't feel good to beg for it.
It doesn't.
I have recently been in that position, and it doesn't make me feel good about myself. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm like, why am I like chasing you down to be my friend? What is wrong with me?
And then I've learned when you let them go, they don't come back. Oof. So it's like,
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you really sure?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yep. They
Ouch.
do not come back. So then
Yeah.
My theory is further proved. Begging would not have changed anything. It just would have made me feel like shit.
Ugh,
that I was begging you to love me when you were gonna stay gone anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder, anyone watching, do you, what?
Be gone. Be gone, baby.
Chase is saying, be gone. Mm-hmm. Anyone watching this, have you mastered the, if you don't want to be in my life, then bye? Or can anyone commiserate with me that's
because I feel bad that I can't commiserate.
No, don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I would say I feel like not a lot of people feel the way that I do, which is I really struggle with it, and I think this is me revealing a really insecure part of myself. And so that's what it is. I think I'm really insecure here.
Yeah.
I love people. I want them to love me, but I also need to let this go because it doesn't mean anything bad about me if you don't love me. Right?
It doesn't.
It's okay. We're just not a match or whatever.
Now, I will say, I can let them go, but the existential crises that comes afterwards, that's what I'm still working
Like, why don't you like me?
Correct. And you've seen that play out, like with the friendships that have ended without saying, and I didn't chase and they never came back. That hurts. I'm still hurting over those. And that then bleeds into romantic relationships, my existing friendships. So I don't want to come off as like I got it together because I definitely don't.
Everything you're saying to the audience, she's not lying. You do handle it far better than I do. You are good at it. You are better at it than me, and I think that you are more secure in yourself in this area than I am, for sure. That's why I be chasing you around. Just chasing you.
You don't chase me.
I
don't think you chase me.
I would zip tie you to my arm if I could. Tiffani, I love you. Please, love me back.
And I'll say this. You ain't got to chase me because I'm right there. Okay? I'm there.
Okay.
I ain't going nowhere.
I love you too. Olivia's in the house too. Hey, Olivia. What up? I love you.
We love you. I love you, baby.
Shoshana, I love you, baby. Sit down, Miss Houston. Love you, Shosh. Love you, Trace.
We love you, Shosh. We love you, Trace.
And that's not a flippant I love you. That's a real I love you. But I really would. In the YouTube comments on this one, I promise you guys I'm going to come and watch. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching all the way through. I read the YouTube comments every single episode. I hope you know that. We both do.
We go through.
I would really love some commiseration on this. I would love to hear, how do you get to that place of like, you're really cool with people that don't want to be in your life, that remove themselves or don't want to be your friend. I would love to hear like how you got to that place of security.
Yeah.
And if you struggle with it too, come have a little wine and a cry with me. Let's have a cry together. Obviously, we're just in our bag today.
Just in it.
Okay. D'accord, je t'adore. Love you.
I was going to try to... I didn't know what you said.
Dior. J'adore Dior. Next week is our special edition book club episode.
We're so excited. I hope y'all have been keeping up and reading because we have.
We're
on it.
We can't wait.
And we're excited to chat about
it.
All about the book.
And say the name of the book one more time.
One more time for all those at home. Quicksilver by Callie Hart as I read. You still have time to catch up if you're a quick reader. We're talking about it next month. Or Jesus.
We're talking about it next week.
We're talking about it next week. It's going to be good.
All right. Love you guys. Oh, and also, I don't know if we have to say this, but try not to spoil in the comments about the book if you're farther ahead than other people.
Please.
Be a team player, Diva.
Diva.
In your Diva Dome.
Deb Diva Dome.
Deb Diva Dome. Diva Dome. Be a diva. Be a diva in your Diva Dome. Be a good diva. All right. Love you. And remember,
we're your girls.